So week 2 of my 9-week weight loss plan is in the books, and here's how I did. So I had 5 goals for myself this week, the first of which was to weigh myself every single day, and I did complete that goal. The second goal I set for myself is to log all calories I consume every single day, and I also completed that goal successfully this week. My third goal is related to how many days of the week I ate at or below my calorie target for the day. And there's kind of a good, better, best on this goal. The best would obviously be to do that 7 days out of 7 days for the week. The good enough would be 5 out of 7 days, and the better would be 6 out of 7 days. Now I kind of aim for the 6 out of 7 because I don't want to be too perfectionistic about this, so that kind of gives me 1 day each week where I can not meet this goal absolutely. But this week I did only do 5 out of 7 days of dietary adherence, so eating at or below my calorie target for the day. And on the 2 days that I did not meet that goal, I was still below my maintenance calories for the day, or my calories out for the day. And so I still consider that a success at this point, even though it wasn't an absolute success of 6 out of 7 days for the week. And the fourth goal is related to the third. It's still about dietary adherence, but in this case, it's about the weekly calories I took. So I have a daily calorie target. If you multiply that by 7, I get a weekly calorie target. And then the idea here is over the course of a week to eat within 85% of that target. So I was ideally supposed to eat around 13,979 calories for the week to reach my targeted rate of weight loss. I ate 14,203 calories for the week, which was slightly over. And within 85% of that target would have been 14,447. So I was still within 85% of that target. So on a weekly dietary adherence with a goal of being within 85%, I did meet this goal. And the fifth goal I set for myself is around physical activity. I'm still kind of figuring this one out, but the idea is to get at least 5 days of exercise and at least 30 minutes per day on each of those 5 days. And this week I definitely exceeded that goal. I got over 30 minutes on all 7 days of the week this week. So I met all of the goals that I set out for myself this week, and now we're going to look at the results. So how did this affect my weight for the week? So on Friday, January 4th in the morning, I weighed in at 181.0 pounds. And on Friday, January 31st, 1 week later, I weighed in at 179.2 pounds for a total scale weight loss of 1.8 pounds for the week. And combining with my week 1 results, and my starting weight for this 9-week period was 183 pounds, so I am down a total of negative 3.8 pounds in 2 weeks. Now, one thing to note is that these results are actually exceeding what my current expected rate of weight loss would be given my calorie deficit. So I'm currently eating at a deficit that mathematically and theoretically should result in a about 0.9 to 0.92 pound per week weight loss. My scale weight is showing between 1.8 and 2 pounds per week on average weight loss these past 2 weeks. My trend weight is showing closer to 1 or 1.2 pounds per week down, but that's still greater than the 0.9 that I would mathematically and theoretically expect from calories in, calories out. So it's just interesting, and it's also why I am choosing to give myself a little bit more leeway here and there, especially since I am doing pretty intense cardio some days, and my body does tend to react with a little bit more hunger signals and cravings for carbs and especially sugar. So I'm definitely getting results, but I'd also like to talk about the challenges and successes and learnings for this week. So the first one I guess I'll put in the challenge bucket is this week I did have the opportunity to have pizza, and it is something that I like, and I've only had I think one other time in the past 13 months. So when the opportunity arose, I decided to go ahead and make the choice to allow myself to have the pizza. I did have 1/2 of a medium pizza on Saturday, and then another half on Sunday. And you can see in my scale weight graph that the additional sodium did, as kind of expected, reflect my weight going up a little bit the next day or two, but also as expected, that temporary sodium increase, which caused likely some water retention, did result in the scale going back down after, because I did ultimately fit those pizza calories into my overall calorie budget. Now, that was the reason that I went over my calorie target for those 2 days this week. But again, I feel good because I made the choice. It was a conscious choice. I limited it. I definitely could have had more than half of a medium pizza on those days. But ultimately, I actually didn't even really want to. I actually felt satisfied, whereas in the past, I probably would have wanted to eat at least another slice or two, if not the whole rest of the pizza. So that is definitely progress on that front, and just goes to show that you can indulge here and there as long as you also make it work in your calorie budget, or you just decide that you're going to take the consequences of a little bit slower weight loss results as a consequence, if you will. So that was a challenge, but it's also a success in a way as well. So another big success this week was that I finally reached the 170s again. And this is an important number for me because I've actually reached this number twice before on this journey of the past 13 months. And I was only able to stay there for no more than 2 days in a row. And this is only the 6th and 7th time out of the last 400 days that I've actually stepped on the scale in the 170s. So my challenge for the next week or two is to do everything I can to get back here for good and not creep back into the 180s. So I think I've learned a little bit from the last 2 times this has happened, but it is something that I'm going to have to figure out because I have not succeeded at this so far. And I'm hoping that this accountability and focus on my dietary adherence, especially weekly, is going to get me over that hump. And finally, just want to talk about one of the things I learned this past week, especially given just how I did on my dietary adherence, as far as only meeting 5 out of 7 days of my calorie target, but still being able to meet that 85% weekly calorie adherence. I do think I should put more weight in the weekly calories because ultimately dietary adherence over time is what's the most important, and it's not really about each day meeting a target, but days in aggregate. So I'm not sure if I'm going to keep reporting the daily dietary adherence, but I'm definitely more leaning toward that 85% weekly dietary adherence. And I think that is something that'll be important for weight maintenance as well once I hopefully get to that phase, is that in maintenance, you're not going to be wanting to eat at a surplus 1 out of 7 days. You're going to be wanting to eat pretty evenly for the most part, or balance out at least on the week on a whole. So I think even in maintenance phase, it will be much more important to track my weekly calorie adherence in that case as well. So I think this shift to a weekly dietary adherence is a better mindset and habit to track, especially since it's something that I would continue on when I'm in weight maintenance. If you're ready to see my week 3 results, go ahead and click on the video here on the screen or in the description below, and I'll see you in that video.